Hey guys, Jonah here, and today we're talking about 3 gadgets that I picked up to make my PC gaming experience a little bit better. We've got a mechanical keyboard, a wireless gaming mouse, and an Xbox controller. So today we will be unboxing all of these gadgets, and then I will provide like a comment or two on how I use them and how well they perform on real day-to-day use. So let's start off with the Ducky One SF. So this is what the Ducky One SF comes in. Its box is made out of cardboard, but you still feel that it's very well made and looks very premium. You are immediately greeted by the dust cover and our keyboard that is covered in this plastic sheet for protection. Also in the box are the user manual for all the operations you need to know, since this doesn't have any onboard software, and the warranty. Also in the box are the USB Type-C cable, which is always welcome, extra customized keycaps, and the keycap removal tool. And here's everything that the Ducky One SF package comes with. So I picked up the Ducky One SF because I wanted that mechanical keyboard configuration on my laptop. So even though it's not wireless, it is wired. I don't really need wireless on my keyboard because most of the time it just stays where it is, unlike the mouse, which we'll get to later. I got this particular keyboard mostly because it's a mechanical keyboard. So for me, mechanical keyboards are actually more comfortable when gaming or typing. The usual keyboards that are found in normal laptop configurations are usually membrane based, and those are quite mushy, and I don't really get that tactile feel that I get from these mechanical keyboards. Now I got the Cherry Blues, so there are usually 3 types, and I know there are a lot of other types out there, but then usually blues for like typing, reds for gaming, and brown is in between both of those. And I got the blues because, well, it was the only one in stock, and I really wanted to try the browns, but maybe we can reserve that for another day. However, as I tried the keyboard out, I actually really like the blues already, and I'm very comfortable with using them. So it has this really nice sound when you type them. Yeah, and it feels like every time you're doing something on this keyboard, it sounds like you're doing something important. So even though you're just chatting or something, it sounds very direct for some reason, just because of the sound that you get. So aside from this being a mechanical keyboard, it actually has a lot of other functions. But before we get to that, I wanted to touch a bit on the form factor and the build quality. So it's called the Ducky One SF because SF stands for 65, or 65% of the keys you find in a normal layout keyboard. So this keyboard is not the one that you would find on most laptops, but rather the full-sized keyboard including the number pad. So this one excludes the number pad as well as the other functions on the rightmost side of the keyboard, and just leaves us with the arrow keys as well as the delete, page up, and page down. So the reason why I got this instead of the Ducky Mini was because of those particular keys. I need those keys in my day-to-day. So I'm not just using this keyboard for gaming, but also when I do Excel spreadsheets as well as when I'm editing videos, and those keys are very critical in my day-to-day with those. So it being smaller is actually one of the major reasons that I got it, aside from it being a mechanical keyboard. It being in this small form factor with all of the keys that I need makes it very versatile in my setup. So I have more space now on my table, and even when I'm gaming, I don't hit it as much with my mouse because I'm usually gaming like very close. Like I don't want to extend my right hand so much. So my mouse tends to be very near the keyboard. And it being smaller, I now don't hit it as much anymore. So this keyboard actually has a lot of features. And all of those features you can access without the need for software. So this keyboard is actually backlit, and not just by any light, but is also fully RGB. So you can customize what kind of lighting you want straight from the keyboard. You can actually have several different modes. You can choose the exact color that you want, and all of this doesn't need any software support. You can do it right there on the keyboard itself. It also has some macros that you can set up, but that part I haven't really delved into. So maybe I can refer you to another video on who can teach you on how to use the macros for this particular keyboard. It also has built-in stands with 2 levels of adjustment, which is always nice. I usually do the full length adjustment so that I don't type with my hands straight on. And apart from those, it actually looks really good. So it being a very small form factor, it looks very minimalist. But then they did include some of these customized keycaps that you can replace so that when you add them in, it now becomes a keyboard with more character, and it just looks very striking on your desk without being too overblown. So you can get the Ducky One 2SF from a lot of online sellers now. So I got mine specifically from Softbox Solutions, but you can also get it on Lazada, or I think Data Blitz and Game 1 PH also offer this keyboard right now. So next up we have the G Pro Wireless mouse from Logitech, and this one is actually the most time I've spent in trying to discern whether or not I needed it. Usually I just buy my mice for around 500 pesos, but this one costs a significant amount more than that, and I was trying to justify why I needed to buy such a mouse. But then my PC being a gaming PC, and also I've gotten myself to learning how to edit videos, so I wanted a mouse that was very accurate, comfortable, and wireless. So here we have the G Pro Wireless in its box, and when you turn it on its side, there's emphasis on light speed, hero sensor, power play, and light sync. At the back, you see all the groundbreaking specs in a nice black on black implementation, and it also highlights all the gaming partners they had in producing this mouse. Now, opening the box, you are immediately greeted by the G Pro Wireless mouse, and it just looks so sleek. It's very understated and doesn't shout gamer when you see it. Even the buttons are all tucked in nicely on the sides, and on the back you have the power switch as well as the DPI button that changes your sensitivity profiles. Other things inside the box are the charging cable and the wireless receiver, which I actually forgot to take out of the box. So here's a photo that I got off the internet that shows the wireless receiver and the additional buttons that it comes with. Here's everything that comes in the package of the G Pro Wireless. So a lot of people playing games actually have quite some beef with mouse being wireless. So they're saying a lot about the latency of the mouse not following where it's supposed to go. But in my experience with this mouse in particular, there has been no such issue, and all of the things that I make it do, it does perfectly. So I feel like it's actually a little bit too accurate, that I feel that during some games, it's actually an advantage when you have this mouse, so it goes right where I want it to go. And in terms of the productivity side for this mouse, it actually has some extra keys on it. So other than customizing those for some games, so I can customize these keys found on the mouse. So for this one, I have 4 extra keys that I can customize so that it makes my video editing process a lot smoother. And as for comfort, it's very good. I think Logitech has done a lot of research with gamers and with people in general on how a mouse is supposed to fit in your hand, and this just fits perfectly. I don't even notice it whenever I'm playing or whenever I'm editing videos. It just fits in my hand in a very ergonomic way that it just disappears actually, and I don't notice at all that I'm actually holding a mouse. What also helps that is that it's very lightweight. So this mouse is only 80 grams. So I think there are some batteries out there that weigh even more. But then this one just feels like you're not holding anything, and all of your inputs are very accurately placed, and it provides for a very good experience in both gaming and editing videos. So I bought mine during Lazada's 6/6 sale last June, and I think that it was around 40 to 50% off. I'm not really quite sure. But then I'll put it down in the link below, and then at that price, I think it puts it squarely up against the Logitech MS Master 2. So that's another popular mouse. However, I chose this one because I don't think I can use that one as much for gaming, and the functions that I needed from that mouse I can actually do on this mouse already. So it made it much more easier for me to actually purchase this mouse instead of the MX Master 2. Okay, and lastly, we have the controller. So we have an Xbox One controller, the Cyberpunk edition. So I got the Cyberpunk edition mostly because it is in theme with my setup. So red, black, white. However, in this case, silver, which, you know, I mean, it looks white in some angles. It doesn't, but yeah. That game's actually one of the most anticipated games of the year. I've been waiting for it for a long time. However, as you all know, I think it got pushed back a bit to November. So we have to wait a little bit more to experience that great game in the making. Unboxing this controller was a treat in itself, as it was a very straightforward experience. The box itself is embellished with the Cyberpunk 2077 theme, and it just feels special. As you open the box, you are greeted by just the controller in a very striking package. The controller itself is rugged yet beautiful, with striking details that are in reference to some iconic clans and themes in the game. This particular scheme is actually based on Keanu's character in the game, Johnny Silverhand, and is a really striking piece of equipment that is almost too pretty to use. Unfortunately, it still uses AA batteries, but you can just easily replace those with rechargeable ones if you want. Okay, so for the controller, you can actually use any of the controllers I think that you may already have. I actually have a PS4 controller, a Switch Pro controller, and an 8-bit SN30. So those controllers, I think with a configuration or two, you can actually use them already on your PC. However, I wanted something that was made for PC gaming. So in that regard, I wanted a lot of the convenience in just booting up a controller and yet connecting right away to the PC without any problems at all. So the Xbox One controller is actually one of the highly regarded controllers of this generation. So it has a lot of good things going for it. One would be the comfort. It is one of the most comfortable controllers, if not the most comfortable controller. It fits right in the hand, so you don't really feel that it's there. So that's actually the theme of how I want these peripherals to go. I don't want to seem like it's there. It's very sturdy, actually. The build of this is quite similar to a PS4 controller and the Switch Pro controller, if not even better. The grip handles actually has these grooves. I'm not sure if you can see it. So those grooves actually help you in staying more comfortable over time. So if I had one gripe about this controller, it would have to be the D-pad. So in playing my platformers, I usually want my D-pad to be very easy to access. And for this one, other than it being not aligned with the button, so usually I want my D-pad here, and that's mostly the reason why I got the SN30 in the first place. It also is a little bit too clicky, so the movement doesn't feel that natural. So what happens is you tend to press forward when you really wanted to press forward and down at the same time, and it's just not as good as the other controllers. However, I didn't buy my PC to play platform games, so it's all good there. So using these analog sticks while playing is actually a very good experience. I get to turn the camera to where I want it to go. So I get to change the direction of where I want to dodge, and as well as place my attacks accurately. And it's a very good experience. So for the trigger buttons, there's not much to say here, other than I think it's just the opposite of the PS4, where the triggers are pointing down, where this one is pointed up. So I think that's left to preference. But for me, it actually has a very good function because I can rest my fingers on this easier since it has that tail that can cradle my fingers. So that's it for today. So all of these gadgets I got with a purpose, specific purpose in mind, and all of them are doing everything in the exact way I imagined them to be. And mostly I'm very happy with all of these purchases, and I think they add a great value to my day-to-day as well as in my gaming. Really highly recommend that if you're in the market for a controller, keyboard, or mouse, that you take a look at these three so you can also have a good experience as I have with them. So if this video has helped you out in one way or another, please consider leaving a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. So I'm going to try to add more content other than gaming and tech videos moving forward. And hopefully those are also some things that you guys are interested in, and hopefully they help you out in one way or another as well. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Peace.